I think everyone expected energy to be the top risk of 2023, given the war in Ukraine, the energy shortages in places like Europe. I think the big one that surprised me anyway was putting water on the list. Why did water scarcity make a top risk in 2023?
Thanks, Ivan. I mean, what would be a top risk list without a surprise, right? Especially for 25th anniversary. No, but more seriously, you're right. I think it will come as a surprise to most. And that's really because people take it for granted. I mean, more than 70% of the planet is covered by water, but see, only 3% of it is fresh water. Companies take it for granted too. Most of them underestimate the cost of water by 3 to 5 times its actual true cost. And then to make matters worse, policymakers are either ignoring or not responding adequately to the problem. So while we've been ignoring the issue just kept growing. We just crossed the 8 billion people mark, which means huge water needs. And at the same time, climate change is making water scarce. And by making it scarce, it's making it more valuable. And so as a result, climate change will politicize the distribution of water. So that's our top risk, water stress, which really means the degree of competition for fresh water. It will be a global, it will be a systemic challenge that will not be tackled as such, which will make it even worse, right? You see how we will be trapped in a vicious cycle here. So demand will increase, resource will continue to decrease, and then solutions have not been a priority. So they are either lacking or too expensive, or are no longer adapted. So I really see 4 things happening this year on the water side. One is that you're going to see new records in terms of water-related conflicts, especially in the Middle East and in Africa. So more refugee flows, more domestic inequality, more food insecurity. You're also going to see new, what I like to call water disruptive policies, right? So especially in emerging markets. Here I'm looking at Latin America and India. So for instance, X industry, cut your water consumption by 75% tomorrow. You're going to see more of that. And then you're also going to see a backlash against the new solutions. In France, not too long ago, they were having protests against new mega reservoir because they were viewed as a way to privatize water. So you're going to see scenes with police officers that are protecting water reservoirs. Those are things that we've never really seen before. So overall, you find yourself even in a situation in 2023 where policymakers are trying but failing, where businesses are scrambling, and where communities are struggling. And so this mosaic of impact, of different impacts, unfortunately, makes water stress a good closing top risk for us this year.
Yeah, it's a real risk, the water-related conflicts that you talk about. And you just wonder, there's so much global multinational cooperation, for example, in the war in Ukraine, certainly in the West, and yet on the water issue, I don't know if there's going to be any global cooperation on that. Is there any sign on that?
There's going to be some early stages of global cooperation on it, but it's going to be very, very slow and very minimal in terms of impact. Now, to be fair, you're going to see the UN Water Conference, which is going to be the first water conference since the 70s. So I guess in and of itself, it's a pretty big deal. And it kind of like goes on to show that the topic is slowly but surely emerging as a priority, but it's very, very slow. And you will not see any kind of coordinated global roadmap of action that will come out of it. Now, to be fair, there are no quick fixes here. Whatever you do now will take years to materialize. So whether it's a surge in research and development funding, whether it's the prioritization of international negotiation on desertification, you can start the conversation today even, but you'll only see the result much later.